everybody. Welcome back to Dork Lords. Today we're talking about Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 7, The Broken Man. Paul, Matt. Paul, what are your first general thoughts on the episode?
Typically I kind of feel like people are always saying, oh, it's not going fast enough, or nothing happened, or whatever. And I'm like, well, let's see where this is going, let's see if this develops into something.
Right.
But I was feeling like I wanted it to move or something. Because, okay, so...
So you felt like it was moving too slowly? Because I had the opposite feeling. But go ahead.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you had this big confrontation with Arya, right? And I was like, okay, well, how many episodes... Let's see how it ends. No. No. Be more. More of that.
She got stabbed several times.
It's like, that girl...
is she dead? The waif.
May get killed because that's not quick. What she did was not quick.
I also like the standard trope of hero falls into water. Villain will watch water for a while.
Yes.
I watched for 10 seconds and they didn't come back. Yeah. They're probably drowned.
Yeah.
No one could stay underwater for 10 seconds. Right.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a big missing part in the waif's education. Like,
how long can people hold their breath?
I can't swim and kill her underwater.
All right.
Curses.
All right, I'm going to come back to my theory that it's moving too fast a little bit later. Right. But just for starters, I got to give Dork Lords props yet again. We did the hold the door, Hodor.
Yeah, true.
Thing correction. By the way, spoilers just all throughout this. So there, spoilers. Great. Okay. Last week, I went back and checked. Minute 21 of our last review. This guy predicted Broken Man equals Sandor Clegane. The Hound returning.
Some people are saying the Broken Man is Jamie, because
true. Now you're right. Broken Man does refer, and also Theon.
Theon, yeah, he's broken too.
Theon was in there, so there were several broken men. But the very fact that the Hound shows up before they do the opening theme.
Arya's a woman.
Is a woman. Yes. Maybe Jon Snow was kind of broken because he died and came back.
Everybody's broken.
Everybody's broken. Everybody.
But you predicted that he would come, and he did come.
But I had the thing DVR'd, so I'm like, click, and I'm waiting for the. And it's like, no.
They did a cold open.
No, we're doing.
They didn't want you to see the name of the actor. Did you know the name of the actor?
No.
No, so you would have been like, dude, this
is
all
name
the
Sandor
50
Clegane?
names that typically go back. And then you'd be like,
playing the part of the Hound, Sandor Clegane. Wow. They had to look really hard to find that guy. So he's back.
Yes.
That was really the central theme of the show, I would say. I mean, it was in the opening, before the opening credits, and it was the last thing we saw.
And, okay, so that was another thing, sort of like,
Ian McShane, awesome.
Yeah,
awesome to see him in there.
Let's introduce Swearingen just so that we can get rid of him.
Right. Deadwood reference.
He could have just tabbed his forehead, I guess. And then, they could have just killed him right there, I guess. But he had to...
By the way...
Really show how broken he was.
So Ian McShane's character rescued the Hound when the Hound had been left for dead after fighting Brienne.
It's hard to kill one of those boys, though.
And so
even when they die, they don't die.
That was kind of a nice moment. It's like, how many men did it take to bring you down? There's one, and he was a woman.
Yes.
And I was like, that's kind of nice. Anyway, so
I had forgotten that it was Brienne.
That was an awesome fight.
I was like,
woman? Oh,
Harry is like a young
falling
woman.
down the
She's
hillside.
a girl, because that's what I was like thinking. Like she was like, "Hey, you're gonna die," and walked off.
Oh, you were thinking it was Arya.
Right.
Okay, Arya left him for dead, but she didn't actually do the killy.
No, I forgot that she needed someone to tenderize him. So,
so the idea is that we see the Hound is now he's joined this. Because they picked him up, but basically he's joined this kind of a commune almost, little like a hey everybody, peace and love,
bunch of hippies.
And we find out by the end of the episode they are some of the most naive people on that planet. I mean, they are in the Game of Thrones universe.
Yes.
and there's a civil war going on.
Yes.
If there's never not a war happening.
True.
And they just pick a valley, start building a thing,
Yep.
and they're like, yeah.
It'll work out.
People show up. There's these riders. I think they're from the Band Without Borders. Banners.
Banners Without Borders.
The Banners Without Borders. They were doctors without banners. Okay. Anyway, those guys, Thoros of Myr and the Red Godfather. Anyway, they show up. Hey, we want your stuff.
We don't have any stuff.
We don't have any
except
stuff.
Food. And would you take the food out of this child and this woman?
Why
over
would
here?
you take our food? So, and then there's this conversation where Ian McShane is talking to the Hound, and the Hound's like, they're going to come back and do horrible things to us. And Ian McShane's like, yeah, well, hey, I said I'd never fight again. And the Hound even says, not even to defend yourself?
Right.
Like, yep. So they all died. I mean, that's the message of Game of Thrones is don't be stupid, and they were stupid, and they all died, and Ian McShane is hanging at the end from a rope.
Right.
And then we see the Hound grab the axe he was using to chop wood, and now he's going to go do horrible things to someone.
Presumably.
Maybe the Doctors Without Banners.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I guess it would be satisfying to see that next week. Again, it's not like, oh, good, that while he's chopping them up, someone else is going to come along, hey, let's go to this other part of the show.
Right. I'll just do a tour of the show.
I'm so glad you chopped them. Hey.
Yeah,
I was looking for a chopper.
I would say eventually this is coming to a head with Clegane Bowl. It's going to happen. The Mountain is going to fight the Hound.
Right.
The Hound is going to win.
Well,
he has to win in some ways because the Mountain, we've already seen the Mountain win a competition like this. It would be very anticlimactic to have the Hound come all the way back, then get killed off by the Mountain.
I agree.
I mean, you could do it in Game of Thrones style. But.
Right. I'm thinking, though, that does it have to be, though, in the contest that saves Cersei's life?
I kind of feel like it does, but okay. What is your thought?
I mean, because it just, it could be just like, we're really going to show how screwed Cersei is. It's like, and that's what they did this episode, because it's like, oh, I'm going to get help for the Queen. What is she?
Right, going back to King's Landing now. There was a series of shots at King's Landing.
Yeah, so, what is it, Queen of Thorns? Is that
Queen of Thorns.
Queen of Thorns. It's like, hey, are you going to help me? No, of course not. You're all on your own. You're the one who sent your brother away.
She points it out, and it's so true. And it's also kind of that, where pride goeth before the fall thing, where Cersei last week says, "Hey, brother Jaime, you go away. I got the mountain. I'm fine." And it's that whole anytime any character in a show of this ilk says, hey, I have 100% certainty that something's going to happen, that means the thing isn't going to happen. Right. So she has now gotten rid of all of her support group, and she's just totally relying on this zombie thing that's going to protect her. And that is not going to work out.
Yeah, because initially I was thinking, okay, that's what's going to happen. But boy, I guess that's what maybe when he's chopping up those banner guys, they're like, I think it'd be. I know some priestly people who might want to use you to kill some zombie.
That's why I'm wondering because Ian McShane's wearing that the star, which is the same symbol that's on the. I think it's connected to the High Sparrow in some way.
Is it?
Right? I mean, not necessarily, the same religion.
Because I can imagine the High Sparrow would be like, well, you better know which gods there are. He's like, oh, maybe there's 5 gods, maybe there's 1 god, maybe they're all the same god. It's like, the High Sparrow would be like, what?
Yeah, it's true. They wouldn't get
Shove
along.
him in a castle.
But he is wearing, at least he has the trappings of hey, I'm the High Septon, whatever. So I'm just
so he puts it on and then he thinks, oh, hey, scarred guy face.
Maybe.
Are you one of your peeps? And he's like, yeah, why not?
Maybe. I'm just saying there's got to be some connection between the people he was just with and the High Sparrow saying, you're going to be our champion. Yeah. Go fight your brother. All right, anyways, that's going to happen somehow. But, Cersei is going to get screwed in the deal. And I just don't know if that's this year. Is that this season or next season?
Right. Well, okay, yeah.
Only 3 episodes left.
True.
And they got to do a whole big battle scene. Thank you, Producer Steve. Producer Steve has been standing quietly in the background.
More Star Wars stuff.
Well, they are on Hoth. So winter has come.
Oh, good.
And now they're all riding tauntauns. Okay, no.
AT-ATs. Apparently is the correct way to say it.
So we've talked about the Hound. We talked about a little bit King's Landing. Although interestingly, in King's Landing, our theory, which I believe we mentioned last week, which is confirmed, Marjorie has not drunk the Kool-Aid.
Right.
She is not. She's not all like peace and love. She is playing a game because we see her. She slips the note to her mom or grandpa.
Yeah, slips the note to her mom.
And the note is basically just a picture of a rose.
Yes.
So I think what that's saying is because the rose is the
family
house sigil. Yeah. So she's saying, I'm still on your side. And get out of town because the High Sparrow just said he wanted to do you in.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Where's the microphone on this? Down here? All right.
Sure. Producer Steve.
The guy that had his head cut off, that everyone said he's coming back. Remember that?
No.
Are you talking...
Two different people.
Are you talking...
Yeah, no, this is different.
Are you talking Sean Bean as Ned Stark from season 1?
I don't think anybody ever talked about him.
Where everyone says, oh, he's coming back.
No, you're talking about Jon Snow. He didn't lose his head.
But did he come back?
He did come back.
All right. That was my question. All right, continue.
Thank you, Producer Steve. Yes, that was... We did see Jon Snow. Good segue, Producer Steve, because we did see Jon Snow this episode.
All right, now here's where I show what an idiot I am.
Okay.
Everybody, pull up a seat.
Paul is an idiot.
Yes.
Here we go.
I didn't know that Ramsay was a Snow.
Well, he's a Snow only in that's the name they give to people that are bastards.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like the sand snakes, if you're a bastard in the Dorne area, in the desert area, you get a sand title. If you're a bastard in the north, you get a snow title.
Oh,
that's the idea.
That's dumb.
Paul has indicated the intelligence of said naming system. But that's the idea, yeah. So it's I'm a bastard of a famous person.
Okay. So that's a good way to keep track, I guess, of who the bastards are.
Yeah.
What's your last name? Oh, Fluffy White Thing?
Blizzard? Terry Blizzard. So they're Sansa and Jon are going to try to round up support.
Yes.
So they go to the house, and actually, it's a really cool scene. I enjoy the House Mormont scene. The little girl.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Lady Mormont is like 3. No, she's older than that. She's like 10.
She's 10.
She's like a 10-year-old girl, but she's like. She's pretty with it.
No, she's very.
She's got her advisors, and she's like, I don't think I want to send our guys to help you. Yeah, and then they end up talking her into and there's that nice moment of, all right, so how many men can we rely on from you? How many is it? Leans over to talk to advisor. 62. 62 people. Like, okay, yay! That'll make a difference,
you, little girl.
So that was an interesting scene, and several of the houses are like, nope.
Right.
We supported the Starks, but then Robb Stark went and screwed around, and now.
Oh yeah, right. It was another reminder, like that foreign whore.
Yeah, it was like,
ooh, geez,
language.
She seemed like she was a nice girl from a foreign land.
So the houses are not as. I mean, I think Sansa had the idea of like, hey, we'll just walk up and say, hey, remember, you guys like Starks, right?
I'm a Stark.
And she's realizing that's not the case.
Nope.
Where people are like, yeah, no, you don't have a head of your house anymore, and we kind of got screwed over in the deal, so don't let the door hit you.
Right.
Where the good Lord split you. So they don't have the people they need, hence that leads to the somewhat important plot moment where she's writing a note.
Yes.
We can guess she's writing a note to Littlefinger.
Right.
And they send it off with the Raven to say,
I know what you're going to say.
Bring your troops.
Like Big Finger or something?
We need your troops.
Yes.
That's a dumb name.
Littlefinger?
Yeah. Why?
Well, he runs a brothel.
Today,
I'd rather not.
That's fine with me.
I'd rather not go into the idea.
Why he would be a Littlefinger?
Yeah, let's just leave it at that.
I just don't like the name.
His real name is Baelish.
That's better.
Okay.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Better than Littlefinger.
Yeah.
Little Baelish.
Little Baelish. Baelish Snow. All right. So we also met in the Greyjoys, Theon.
Yes.
Yara.
Yes.
Whatever her name is.
Yara.
Thank you. They're in a brothel. Speaking of brothels.
Yeah, speaking of
Very
brothels.
good.
Which is somewhat ironic because Theon has been castrated and is sad.
Right.
Anyway, so there's this I'm sad
Not
moment.
enjoying himself.
His sister basically goes to the point of saying, hey, I need you on my side. if you're not going to go back to being yourself, maybe just kill yourself.
Yeah.
Like literally says, here, just slit your wrist, do us all a favor, or stop moping and start drinking. So I think he decides to stop moping.
Yeah,
I mean, he's still moping.
Practically tells him to chug.
Yeah. So chug.
That's weird.
So they. I mean, this is where I would argue the plot is suddenly moving along really fast. Is that it's, last week, Daenerys, who we don't see in this episode, but she's like, hey, how many ships do we need? We need 1,000 ships. Oh, I wonder where we'll get those. Hey, brother, let's take our 1,000 ships and go meet up with Daenerys. Okay. And, the show is condensing what I consider to be probably months' worth of real-time travel and stuff like that into oh, great, we meet up, great.
Right, yeah. That is happening very quickly. Where you're like, hey, let's go over here, and then boom, they're over there.
Which reminds me, now that, we're not reviewing the show Rome on this thing. But
No, we're not.
Did you see the show Rome?
Never saw it.
Okay,
so
it's
that's
another
why I
HBO
can't
show.
Review that show.
I'm just going to say really quickly, just don't want to get too distracted, but it just reminds me a little bit of Rome, in that Rome had 2 seasons. First season, was basically just talking about the lead up to the assassination of Julius Caesar. Cool episode, cool season, really interesting. I think the conventional wisdom was they didn't expect to have a second season, and suddenly they did.
Oh,
and then they set this thing of let's go up to to Octavian taking over, and so they had a season to cover several years, and all of a sudden time started moving really fast, and they were just suddenly a character who was a kid was now a man. You're like, wait, who was that? Was that guy? What? And then they did Antony and Cleopatra, and it became kind of messy. It wasn't horrible, but it was just suddenly felt really forced and rushed.
Okay.
And I kind of feel like we're getting a little bit of that this season where they realize there's a target. Oh my God, we got to get to the battle. Yeah. We only got this many episodes. And suddenly things are really starting to get in motion. I hope they take a little time. They don't feel this need to crush it. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I hear you.
Okay.
You probably, and certainly in some ways things have gone faster. Perhaps my primary reaction was, boy, they really stretched out that whole Arya thing.
Right, the Arya thing has been stretched.
And also, it's okay, Gregor is crushed now. So we needed a whole episode to meet someone who's going to die before he went on to the next part of his life. Okay.
What do you mean the Hound?
I'm sorry, yes.
Sandor. Okay.
Sandor, yes. Sandor.
Okay, here's a segue. Dude, all right, I'm about to do the awesome segue.
Uh-oh.
Guy who played Brutus in Rome, the series, Edmure Tully. Edmure Tully, we just saw this episode, was the guy, he's the guy that was, they were threatening to hang him unless the Blackfish gave up his castle. Which, here's the theory I have. It's not an actual theory. This is a sarcastic theory. But Edmure Tully is immortal. And here's why. He is the guy, he's the wedding that is the Red Wedding. The Red Wedding was his wedding.
Right.
All of his wedding guests horribly, brutally murdered.
True.
He survived.
Not yet.
He was imprisoned, probably not kindly,
No.
for all this time. Survived that too.
Right.
People might, but coming on the heels of the Red Wedding, amazing he's still alive at all. Then in this episode,
Yes.
he is literally being hanged.
Well,
they're about to hang him, and they're like, "Hey, give us the castle, or we'll hang this guy."
That's a funny.
They're
part.
like, "Take him," and then
wait.
wait, we'll slit his throat.
Yeah.
Fine. And then he still lives.
He still lives.
On the Game of Thrones universe. I mean, how many people have been just whacked horribly in this world? This guy is the luckiest individual on Game of Thrones.
Well, yes.
Who is this?
His name is Edmure Tully. He's a throwaway character.
He's
a relative of a good house.
And then he
connected
didn't have
to the
a lot of
Starks.
story happening to him.
But it's just funny that the
funny.
one guy who survived the Red Wedding.
Being very sarcastic.
They're threatening to kill him twice with a knife to his neck.
If I was threatened to be killed twice by an idiot,
Sure.
I'd feel pretty confident.
All right.
Right.
I just figured they were going to kill him
The great
anyway.
part of that comes when Jamie comes in afterward and says, "Yeah, you threatened to kill this guy twice and you didn't do anything." Like, if I were to say, if you say one more word, I'll knock you upside the head, then
What?
and didn't do it, then I'd be stupid. And he said, what? And he smacked him across the face.
That was a nice
He's
scene.
like, that's how you do it. You say you're going to kill somebody, and then you kill. You don't say, wait, no, here's another way. Maybe you didn't realize that would kill him, the rope. So let me show you. I'll cut his
He not only
throat.
smacked him across the face, Jamie used his iron
Yeah,
hand.
his iron hand to do
He
it.
hit him with a freaking block of iron. Anyway,
Yes.
that was
Yeah,
nice.
so that was very amusing.
Jamie's armor looked very cool, by the way. I'm going to give him that.
You should give him that.
That armor was really neat. And that scene was
people
really
also
cool.
talked about Bronn, the guy with him.
Bronn.
He was rather
Bron's a
fancy
cool
too.
character. I like Bronn.
Dressed fancy.
Dressed fancy.
You know?
But they show up and they had this meeting with the Blackfish of like, hey, will you surrender the castle? No, I'm not going to surrender the castle. That was an interesting scene. I liked it because there's
Yeah, you got to meet the guy, and then
and he makes a great point. Blackfish says, hey, I've got 2 years of provisions in here, so
Yeah.
are you prepared to wait 2 years? Do you want to enjoy that 2 years hanging outside my castle? And obviously we know no one's got 2 years because
Right,
there's a
doesn't
bunch of
sound like it.
zombies coming over. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
by the
that's
time
true.
2
Yeah.
years hits, the landscape's going to be much different.
yeah, you're not going to be sitting on top of that castle, like eating your food. Like, look at all those zombies down there. I guess they'll never climb up those mountains.
Yeah, oops.
Or the
The walls.
wall there. Zombies don't do that.
This
Yeah.
moat will keep them out.
Yeah,
I
right.
think the wall will keep it out.
You
right?
think the wall's going to keep out? See, though, there's a pretty big fan theory that the wall's coming down. Maybe
Well,
at
we're
the
talking about
end of
the
the season.
wall.
Why do these
That's a different
zombies?
wall, but we're
why
talking
do these
the-
zombies come around? Is it a spell or what?
Well, it's winter has come. I
Right.
think the idea is they can go anywhere where it's uber cold,
Why? I mean, where they come from?
the north.
Wha-
So they're
but
kind of
where
in the
are-
Arctic region.
Why?
if you wanna
Why
call
are
it.
there zombies? Is what I'm saying.
They were created, or their masters were created by the children of the forest
Yes.
to protect them versus humans. Those guys, it's kind of like they created like their version of like an A bomb. Hey, here's our destruct sequence that we can use against everybody, and then it got out of hand. And now the White Walkers created all these whites, and they're raising the dead, and now they're just like kill everyone. And as far as we know, that's kind
Right,
of
sure, yeah.
the idea. And so now that it's getting colder and colder, they can come farther south. Is the idea.
Well, that's confusing. I
Yeah,
was
it
expecting
helps if you watch
something.
the show, but
Yeah, I was expecting. Yeah, well,
That's
I was
true.
expecting like, hey, there's a witch that's really kind of a bitch, and she hates everybody, so she made a spell. I was
Well, that's
expecting.
old.
Oh.
You know.
There
What's
are
new is
there
a
are
bunch of-
there are bitchy witches
a bunch of little
who make spells on the
small,
show.
woody children who don't like people cutting down their trees.
Okay.
They make zombies.
But they make zombies.
That'll show them.
Right, that'll show them. So we did. We mentioned we did the cool prediction. We did predict the Hound
And we did
this week. So I still got 2 predictions that are outstanding.
Oh yeah.
One is that Littlefinger wrote the note. I'm telling you, it's coming. And second, that Jorah Mormont is going to meet up with Sam
Oh yeah. Right.
to help cure his grayscale.
Hey,
That's
that's
coming.
another. Here's
So
another.
he's in black and white. What the hell's going on?
See what?
He's in black and white.
He's in the House of Black and White. There is
No.
a House of Black and White.
You said
no.
it's going to cure his grayscale.
Oh,
Yes.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. He's right. Yes, they're gonna fine tune his resolution.
He
Yeah.
shows up in black and white
Yeah,
for some
yeah,
reason.
there you
Yeah,
go.
they're gonna stream him through a
It's like,
Xerox.
oh, less colors.
That's grayscale.
These thousands of no.
He'll be like a 2-ply sheet.
Right. No, but you reminded me. You mentioned who did you just mention?
I just mentioned Sam,
No,
Jorah.
Jorah. I didn't realize that Jorah was related to the little girl.
Yeah, the
The
Mormonts,
little
Bear
Mormonts.
Islands.
There you go. She's one of those
That
people.
was a connection in exactly.
I forget that because he's already so devoted to, and he fights, and he's so devoted to.
Daenerys said actually his house is connected or devoted
it
to the
makes you think of
Starks.
him some sort of slave or something, but no,
But no,
he's not. He's part of a holy or royal family or whatever.
and I think in fact he got a little disgraced because he had slaves.
Yeah.
I think at some point or something, or he's a slave trader maybe. He somehow dishonored himself, and that's
Okay.
why he kind of was like, oh, I'm overseas.
Interesting.
We did see in the trailer for next week, we see Brienne speaking with Jamie,
We do,
which
and they seem like they're at odds.
they should be, right? Because Brienne is coming to get the Blackfish's aid,
Oh,
and Jamie is
Coming
laying
to that.
siege to the Blackfish. So it'll be like a, hey, I want that guy.
Right.
No, you can't. I'm trying to
well,
get his castle.
if he helps them, That would help him. You know?
Wait, him? Who are the
I was
hims
like,
in your?
if he goes to help
If he
Sansa,
if he being the Blackfish,
the Blackfish goes to help Sansa. He's not going to stick around in the castle. Like, have the guys
Sure.
come over here. You know?
right?
I'm
Right.
ready,
There's a little bit of
ready.
an impasse. Like, oh, wait. In order to get whoops.
Yeah.
So here's one possibility. I'm not throwing this out as a theory, but it's possible. I don't know. Maybe Brienne's like, look, we need help. There's no way this would work. But basically, we got to get the Boltons out. We want the Blackfish. Why not you bring your army, Jaime? Jaime has no reason to help get the Boltons out.
No.
Except for the fact that he is kind of has a thing for Brienne. I mean, they had a strong bond, let's say. I mean, he gave her his sword. And I'm just saying, I doubt that he would
like
throw his family aside for Brienne, but
friend zone Brienne.
he friend zoned Brienne.
That's my feeling.
So I'm just saying, I guess there's a
It's like,
small
you
possibility
are a trusty pet
that she could convince him somehow to say, like, "Hey, look, I don't see it. I don't see it,
I
but
like-
I'm wondering why they're talking."
I
I'll
try
put
to
it that
be
way.
yes. I try to be faithful to the underlings under me.
Yeah.
So
All right. I guess that's any final thoughts
No,
in the wrap up?
no. I did like the episode, but we'll see what happens to.
It was hound based.
Yes. Arya. That's my big thing. So we'll see what happens to Arya next. Hopefully,
Yeah, she's staggering around,
figures
bleeding
it out next episode.
bleeding out. No way she dies. No.
I think there's no way she dies, but if she doesn't have another fight next week,
I kind of
and
figured there'd be
finish
one
her
fight
off,
and done, but
yes,
I will say this
exactly.
real quickly about that.
Why isn't she dead? Is all.
She was talking about a naive people.
Yes, that was
The connection. She was impossibly naive. She's just been trained as an assassin for seasons, and the easiest. In the broad daylight,
Oh, yes.
random woman I've never met before comes up and wants. Oh my God, she's stabbing me! Like, you didn't see that. I mean, everyone watching saw that coming.
See,
How did you not see that coming?
I think it may have been you or other people I'd heard who were saying, look, Arya, she knows what's going on. She goes to sleep under a bridge, turns out the light.
Yeah,
like,
blows out the
you're never
candle.
going to see me. I'm ready to get anybody. No.
No.
She just doesn't like sleeping in the light, that's all.
It just brought it back to that.
Here's all
I
the
agree.
sun. In the big sun, she's like, oh, let me just go over the bridge and look and think, what a nice town. Oh, hello, old lady.
No, I don't. What? Oh my God, that came out of nowhere. Person who was trying to kill me, and I know that they can put on faces. That was pretty dumb on her part. Although we do see she's trying to go to Westeros, so we got confirmation.
Yes.
She's trying to buy the ship.
Yep.
She wants to go back. Like, I'd like to get back to the story now.
Yeah, no.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why don't you go back into the story? That would be nice. Anyway, so I think she'll survive and get back to Westeros.
Oh, yeah, me too.
So that's going to happen.
It'd be
All
very
right.
lame if they killed her.
So that's it for episode 7. Only 3 episodes left.
Thank God.
Thank you, producer Steve. All right, so that's it for Paul and I, Dork Lords. Bye, everybody.